Getting the aged care sector ready for reform has been the driving force behind the Aged Care Workforce Innovation Network.
So the WIN program is a national program. We've been operating in 10 regions. What we're trying to do is bring people together in collaborative thinking to actually generate some new ways of resolving some of the challenges to their industry at this point in time. We've been able to create some partnerships in the regions and then people have actually sat down together and worked out what works best for them at the local level, at the regional level.
The program incorporated the Reform Ready Review, a process used to identify and facilitate the changes needed to be reform ready.
The Reform Ready Review really helped us look closely at what things we did well, where the gaps are or were, and where we needed to improve or put more resources in.
Aged care providers are on a journey with Australia's changing demographics and government reforms. Providers must reshape their business models and workforce to remain sustainable.
WIN has really helped people go on the journey, and it is a big journey because people have really had to come to grips with what I'll just call the new world order, the new stage and backdrop on which their organisations are going to play. And one of the things the WIN projects have been able to do is really make sure that people have been on the same journey, getting an understanding about the emerging big picture, where it's all heading, what does it mean for us, and most importantly, what have we actually got to do?
The WIN program has been a catalyst for us to partner and collaborate with other organisations in the region. Collaboration and partnerships, I think, is such a key to each organisation's survival into the future.
The whole project has been critical in that sort of whole collaboration. I think what's been exciting about that, it's actually building on a really strong collaboration that exists already in the sector, and we really just needed something like the WIN project to sort of come along and galvanise us to come together to address such a critical issue at such a critical point in time for such an important industry and sector.
The aged care sector is facing a huge amount of change, and good leadership will be absolutely vital to the way that the sector adapts to the changes in the environment.
Developing leadership capacity in the aged care sector is critical for strengthening the aged care sector. A little bit of navel gazing has actually been really useful because it's about reframing what is leadership in the context of aged care.
If we hadn't had the coordination of the WIN network to bring these groups together, we see the sustainability of this program actually hinging on that network and the fact that the providers now are forming a leadership community of best practice, and we couldn't have done that without the WIN network.
I think a workforce plan is critical for any organisation. There is so much change and so much volatility in all the markets. If you're not on top of your workforce, if you aren't planning for it, it will not support your organisation into the future.
The Reform Ready Review assisted us with looking at the type of workforce, how to retain a great workforce, even recruitment, the way we did recruitment.
I think implementing IT and strengthening the capacity within the industry itself has to be a must.
The use of technology throughout the whole of the service has been really beneficial in a few different ways. Firstly, to actually capture real-time data and be able to report on actually what we're doing and not what's just programmed to be done. It's also allowed us to gain efficiencies which we've been able to reinvest into a more consumer-directed way of doing business.
The Reform Ready tool is now freely available on the website, and I would really strongly encourage organisations to make use of that.
The Reform Ready review tool is a really valuable resource which I would encourage all aged care providers around the country to utilise, both from an organisational and from a facility perspective. It is beholding, I think, on the sector to use this resource to make sure that it is prepared for the reform change that will occur.
What we do as a Skills Council is we're on the ground with the businesses, developing with them their solutions.